It's finally time! Sundarpatan has been released, and as always, with the release of a new reserve, it is time to go over all the locations, the best times, and every single hotspot map to hunt all the species on Sundarpatan. So first of all, we're gonna start by talking about the loadout. You know, in this reserve there are 3 class 9 species and all of them have the tendency of going aggressive. So it is very important to carry a weapon that is powerful enough to be able to defend yourself from the constant attacks of the wild jacks, the tigers and the war buffaloes, while also being reliable enough to simply hunt them. And for that reason, the rifle I would recommend you to carry to hunt those class 9s is the 470 Nitro. You can also choose either one of the 2 300s or 338s, but I personally prefer the 470 simply because it is unmatched when it comes to close range encounters. Another weapon I would recommend you to carry is something like the lever action 7mm to be able to easily hunt all the class 4 and class 6 species that inhabit this map, although in this case any class 4 to 8 rifle will be more than enough. I also recommend you carrying either the 243 Quom or the 243 Ranger for those class 2 animals like the Muntjacs and the Tibetan Foxes, and either the 22 Variant or the 22 Pistol for the hares and the geese. Alright, so we're gonna start by going over what I'm pretty sure will be one of the most popular animals from the 13 we can hunt on this map, which is the wild jack. These giants are one of the biggest species we can currently hunt on this game, and they are the second largest animal from the ones available on Sundarpatan. You know, these guys reach a max level of level 9 legendary, and obviously with that size they're a class 9 species. Even though they look amazing, these guys are not exactly gentle giants and they are gonna attack you as soon as they have a chance. So make sure to be ready. Oh, look at those horns! Holy! Damn! Now talking about their home range, these wild jacks are present exclusively on the top third of the reserve, and if you wanna find them easily, make sure to look for them at any of these lakes while they are drinking from 800 to 1200. Holy, that's a giant! That's a giant! Up to 282 level 8. The minimum damage score of these wild jacks is 273.23, so this guy could make it. And it is actually very possible since these guys are known for frequently make it at level 8. So I'ma try to drop him here using the 470. He is very close. You know, something about these jacks that makes them very easy to hunt in comparison with the rest of the species apart from their size is that they are very slow. So it's normally very easy to reach them if you simply run behind them. And that will do it. He is going down. Oh! Look at that! Look at the size of that one! His estimate went up to 275. I mean, it may be just as big as the one we just shot, eh? No, 260.43. Now let's see a score of this one. Is this a diamond? Well, actually, is it just me or this one looks way bigger than that 260? Oof! 272.19. No way. Roughly 1 point shy from diamond. So close. Now that one is a giant. That is a level 5, isn't it? Yeah, level 5. Up to 168 estimate. Look at the size of that. They look so impressive. And I've no idea if this guy is here respawn because I'm 99% sure the first time I checked this lake this guy wasn't there, eh? So he may be. Now going over some basic information about these blue ships, as you can see these guys are class 4, they are a class 4 animal that can be killed with a wide range of weapons. You know, every class 4 to 8 rifle will do the job. They also reach a max level of level 5 medium and their max weight estimate is 65 to 75 kilos. You know, these ships can be found on many areas, mostly on the top half of the reserve. I would say their home range starts around this area and then it continues all the way down here, including this pond. And then it also includes a great part of the central region, including most of the lakes that you can find near the center. Also, another important thing is that in comparison with, for example, the Himalayan Tahr that also inhabit similar areas, these guys actually have a drink time. They drink from 1400 to 1700. So let's shoot this guy. He is less than 100 meters out, so it's gonna be really easy. Although I'm honestly not a huge fan of that angle. Well, now he's moving. And now he's drinking again. So let's see. They don't know what's coming. That's it. Will this be our second diamond blue chip? His estimate was very promising and also the horns look massive. So I think it is likely. It is starting to snow now. So hopefully that is a sign this guy is actually big. Let's see. And it is a diamond, 156.5. What a monster. I have to say that this is one of the best looking species on this map. The diamonds look amazing, and these blue chips are one of the most popular animals that can be hunted legally inside the country of Nepal, so I can definitely see them becoming really popular. They are a blast to hunt. As I said earlier, the Himalayan Tahr also lives on many of the places where the blue chip inhabits. And just as the blue chip, these Tahrs are a class 4 animal that goes up to level 5 medium, but the difference is that they don't have a drink time. So it is definitely much more complicated to hunt these guys, especially if you wanna set up a grind for them, because you'll have to limit yourself to hunting feed zones and rest zones. You know, these Tahrs are a very skittish animal that is gonna spook easily if you are not careful once you get close to them, and by getting close to them I mean like 200 meters away. So you gotta be really patient when hunting them and make sure to pay attention to their tracks and to their calls, because those are the things that are gonna lead you to their zones. Now, as you can see here, we have this track, 117 to 140 kilos, that is a max weight estimate, and maybe max level. I don't know if it is gonna be a level 5, but we need to find them. Now, another important thing about these Tahrs, apart from the fact that they are now known as the new Great One, is that it is not really possible to grind them nearly as efficiently as you would grind other species. And the reason for that is not only because they don't have a drink time, but also because their response seems to be very inconsistent. It is very rare when the males respawn on the same herds you shoot them. You are gonna have to be frequently checking all the potential locations in order to find where the males you shot respawn, because they are not gonna respawn on the same places the majority of the times. For example, if I kill those two males from that herd, it is very likely that they are gonna respawn on a completely different place and that herd will become a female only herd. So if your plan is to grind for a great one of these species, the best thing I can do for you is to give you this hotspot map as reference and wish you luck, because it is probably gonna take you a lot of time to kill the amount of males that are necessary to spawn a great one. It is definitely possible to grind them, but you are gonna have to be constantly moving, checking their home range in order to keep finding males to shoot. Oh, there he is. He's alert. That's how they sound. Is that him? Yeah, level 4. Up to 103 estimate. It is a diamond potential. I am yet to see any level 4 diamond posted, but since the diamond score of these guys is 101.87, I don't see any reason to think that this guy having a higher top estimate than that doesn't have any chance to make it. You know, sometimes it can be difficult to tell the difference between the level 3s and the 4s, since the difference in the size of the horns is not as noticeable at a distance, but once you see them from this close, it is clear. 92.48, this one is only gold. Honestly, I thought it was bigger. No way, I think I say leopard. I saw it for half a second, but I'm 90% sure it was a leopard, eh? Not completely sure, but I think it was. It was something white. And kinda big. Unless it is an albino or something similar of other species, I don't know what else it could be. We gotta look for the track and we'll see if it is actually leopard. 63 to 75 kilos. It is a male. You know, the max weight estimate for the snow leopard is 63 to 75 kilos, so if you find a track with that estimate, make sure to track it, because those are the tracks that have a chance to lead you to a level 9. The snow leopard is a very elusive class 4 species that is without any doubt the most elusive and rare species on the entire game. Their population is known to be of less than 10 leopards, making it significantly more rare than the tigers, and they are known for having senses that are way sharper than the senses of the majority of the animals, making them really challenging to hunt. Another thing that makes these leopards a true challenge is the fact that just as the Himalayan Tahr, they don't have a drink time. So if you wanna find these elusive little guys either while they are resting or feeding, the first thing you have to do is to make sure to stay within their home range. As long as you stay within this upper region, which is essentially their habitat, you're gonna have a chance to stumble across one of these guys, either by finding a track, which would be the most common scenario, or simply by spotting it, or even by hearing a call. Although I gotta say that even though their home range is rather big for such a low number of leopards, these 5 locations, at least in my experience, tend to produce very consistent response. So I would say there's a good chance you'll find at least a couple by checking these areas, but there's no guarantee. You have to be really patient because these guys are scarce, and most of the times you're gonna stumble across one when you least expect it. No shot! No shot! Level 8! Level 8, guys, that's the one we're chasing. We might be able to drop him here, but I'm not gonna risk it, eh? We gotta take our time because this may not be diamond, but I imagine it is just as rare as a diamond of other species. Maybe rarer. He's down. That happened so fast. I can't believe it. I really don't know the reason he decided to run this way, but that probably saved us from a very long chase. Here we have it. A level 8 snow leopard. Snow fur type. Let's see its score. 27.94. It is big. You know, the diamond score is exactly 29, so it isn't exactly close, but it is not far neither. What a trophy. I mean, these snow leopards will be undoubtedly the rarest animal on this game once the map comes out, so finding one of these regardless of their size is gonna be an achievement. Whoa! That's a huge Nilgai. Up to 99. Holy. I wanna drop him using the Gandhari rifle. I mean, it is very close, it is roughly like 50 meters out. That was a good shot. Yes. Anyone else? Man, there are a lot. Oh, you want some? Nice shot. The more I use this rifle, the more I like it. Now the moment of truth. Is this level 4 Nilgai big enough to be diamond? I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he does in fact makes it, because the horns are massive and his estimate was massive. Yeah, this guy is without any doubt way bigger than any other Nilgai I've seen so far. And it is only gold, 94.23. Oh wow. Wow, look at how close it was. The diamond score is 94.89. You know, these Nilgais are a classic species that go up to level 5 medium and make diamond with a score of 94.89. Their home range is very similar to a home range of both the Tiger and the Barasingha, inhabiting mainly the bottom half of the reserve, although in contrast with the Tigers, they only inhabit a part of this half. Same case for the Barasinghas. Their drink time is from 800 to 1200, and at this time you're gonna have a chance to find them drinking on every single of these locations. Now, in the case of the Barasinghas, as I said, their habitat is very similar to the habitat of the Nilgai. However, the difference is that these Barasinghas are also present on this part of the Tahr region where the Nilgais are not, while on the other hand, the Nilgais are actually present on this other region where the Barasinghas aren't. That one is big, eh? Level 4 max estimate. As you can see, the max weight estimate range of these Barasinghas is 242 to 280 kilos, and they reach a max level of level 5 medium, being a classics animal. There's a smaller max estimate behind it, so I'ma shoot them both. First one with a hard shot. And that's it. He's massive. I wonder if he is close to diamond. 193.31, it is a really big Barasingha, but it's not that close from the diamond score, which is 226.05. You know, the population of these guys is quite large. They have a drink time which is from 1200 to 1500, so if you use this hotspot map as reference, you shouldn't have any issue to find a great number of them while they are drinking at any of these locations. Look at all the foxes! 6 in total, that's crazy. From what I've seen so far, this lake up here is very decent for both Tibetan Fox and Blue Sheep, also for Muntjac. So I think it is definitely worth placing a tent here. Now going over some basic information about the Tibetan Fox, as you can see these guys are a class 2 species that goes up to level 9 legendary and makes diamond with a score of 6.37. You know, these guys, contrary to what you would think, are not really that skittish because it is normally quite easy to approach them, and as for their home range, the habitat of these Tibetan Foxes is essentially the top half of the reserve, all this area. So if you wanna find them easily, you can find them while they are drinking from 1700 to 2000 at any of these locations. Now this track right here is the track of a max estimate Tibetan Fox, 5 to 6 kilos, that is their max estimate. You know, whenever you stumble across a track with this estimate, make sure to track it because it is guaranteed to be a big fox. It may be level 7, level 8 or even a level 9. We gotta find it. I think there's a yak approaching us. Yeah, you wanna kill me? You are gonna have to survive my 471st. Great weapon. She's going down quickly. Oh, we missed the first shot. By nothing, but we missed it. I see him. Level 7. Another max estimate fox that is not a level 9. I mean, the diamonds are very rare, so it's not a surprise. Let's drop him. And that was a good shot. Since these foxes are a class 2 species, the best weapons you can use to hunt them are definitely both this 243 Cuomo and the 243 Ranger. How big is this one? 5.58. Man, they look so derpy. You know, definitely one of the most unique looking animals that we can hunt here on Sundarpatan. Now, the next animal we're gonna go over on today's guide is nothing less than the dangerous Bengal Tiger. You know, the Bengal Tiger is a class 9 animal that goes up to level 9 legendary and makes diamond with a score of 57. These tigers are undoubtedly the most dangerous animal we currently have on this game because they are able to stalk us and then kill us with a single blow in just a matter of seconds. You have to pay very close attention to any growl or roar you hear because when these tigers are about to attack and they are starting the stalking animation, they make a growl. And once you hear that growl, you can be sure that you are in trouble. You are only gonna have a few seconds to spot the tiger before it launches its fatal attack. Now, one thing you can do to make the task of surviving a tiger attack much easier is to bring a dog with you. You know, the dogs are super useful in these cases because once the tiger starts the stalking animation and it starts getting close to you, there's a chance the dog will spook it. And even if it doesn't spook it, the fact the dog will start barking once the tiger starts to approach you is already a game changer because a lot of times the tigers won't make any growl or sound until they are literally just a couple seconds away from striking. You know, something important and interesting about these tigers is that in contrast with the majority of the species that probably have populations in the hundreds, these tigers are very scarce. We know officially that there are only 16 of them per map. So coming across these guys is definitely something that doesn't happen too often when roaming around the map. However, fortunately for all the tiger fans out there, these guys have a drink time, from 400 to 700 in the morning. And that is a huge advantage because obviously during that period of time all 16 tigers will get close to a water source in order to drink, and that massively reduces the amount of places you have to check in order to find them since they are gonna be close to the lakes and rivers that exist within their home range. You know, the tiger home range is limited exclusively to the bottom half of the reserve, essentially the entire Tahr region, which is this lower region, and the bottom half of the Bahat region. This area is the home of the 16 tigers that inhabit this reserve, and of course the majority of the bodies of water inside it are able to have tiger drink zones. Although it is important to mention that even though each of these lakes and even the river have a chance to have tigers while they are drinking, you are only gonna have a drink zone on a few of them. And the reason for that is simply because each map is different. I mean, my zones are not gonna be exactly the same as your zones, they are not gonna be on the same locations, but what is actually the same is the home range. Obviously, you are not gonna have a tiger on all of these red areas since there are only 16 per map, but you can be sure that each of these places has a low chance of having at least one or even multiple of the 16 tigers. So the only way to know exactly where your tigers are drinking is to take this map as reference, set the time to about 5:30 in the morning, and go to check all these red areas. What is that? No way! Is that an albino or a leucistic? it is definitely rare Muntjac. Our first rare Muntjac, a female. So the only question is if it is albino or leucistic. As far as I know, they can be both, so both are possible. Now, as you can see, these northern red Muntjacs are a class 2 species that surprisingly reaches a max level of level 5 medium. You know, they make diamond with a score of 35.24 and their max weight estimate is 23 to 28 kilos. And that will do it. Our first ever rare Muntjac. Honestly, these Muntjacs are very easy to hunt, first of all because they have a training time which is from 1500 to 1800, and the second reason is simply because they inhabit a very small region, essentially this entire Tahr region. So they are undoubtedly very easy to find. You are gonna find a lot of them simply by moving within their home range, and I can definitely see myself setting up a grind for some of the rares in the future because they have some amazing rares and their locations are not many. Now this one, is it albino or leucistic? Well, the eyes are black, and the eyes of an albino should be reddish, so I think this one is a leucistic. Yeah, leucistic. What a beautiful rare. Honestly, as soon as I saw it, I thought it was an albino because it looks completely white, and maybe the leucistics of other species tend to be more grayish in color, but it's honestly great to see that this one is a bit different than the average leucistic. Oh, big hair. Max estimate woolly hair. Where is she? You know, if I say the Muntjacs were easy to hunt, these woolly hairs take the cake as the easy species on the entire reserve. I mean, they are essentially everywhere, there's not a single place within this map where the woolly hairs aren't. So whenever you find their tracks, make sure to pay attention to those that say 2 to 3 kilos, since those are the max estimates, like the one we're chasing. You know, these hairs make diamond with a score of 3.28 and their max level is level 3 very easy, although they are also able to make diamond at level 2 in rare occasions. I think she's there. Yeah, level 2. And look at that estimate. 3. And that is exactly what I mean when I say that they are easy to hunt. They don't run. I mean, they run but only for a few meters, and then they keep walking. I don't remember ever seeing that 3 of estimate on a level 2. So will this be a level 2 diamond? No, 3.22, that's so close. Only 6 centésimals shy from diamond. No way. Now, as for the rest of the species that is also possible to hunt on this map, being this the war buffalo, the black buck and the grey lagoose, here I leave you these 3 hotspot maps that, just as the rest of the maps, are also gonna be available on my Discord server. I'ma leave you the link on the description, and that is pretty much it for today's guide. Thank you for watching and see you next time.